Hi everybody, it's Dandruff with your news cartridge for Thursday, April 20th, 2017. Oh boy, it's going to be another great show for you today because it begins with free stuff. Saints Row 2 is free right now and for the next 2 days on GOG or GOG.com. It just takes a few clicks and then it's yours for good. And as always, there's a link to it down below. Dead by Daylight, the hide-and-seek horror game, is coming to Xbox One and PS4 on June 20th in North America and June 23rd in Europe and will retail for $29.99 US or your regional equivalent. Coming to PS4 is Everybody's Golf on August 29th in North America and August 30th in Europe. Believe it or not, this is part of a 20-year-long franchise, but a lot of the other games have only been released in Japan. Prison Architect is coming to mobile, and all I hope is that they find a better way to optimize the game because even my machine was slowing down at about 500 prisoners. It's set to break out sometime later this year. A new mode has come to GTA Online called Tiny Races, and it recreates the top-down view that was seen in the first two Grand Theft Auto games before Rockstar started using a 3D engine. In update news, Rainbow Six Siege has been updated to version 2.1.3, which fixes a lot of bugs, but unfortunately, the bug affecting Hibana has not been fixed. For those who don't play the game, sometimes you're just unable to activate her special ability. She fires remote mines, and you can still fire them, but they don't always detonate. You can find the huge list of patch notes and a link in the description down below, along with links for sources for all of today's stories. Earlier this week, we learned about Bandai Namco's new IP called Code Vein, and now we have our first look at some screenshots, and the first thing I notice is the amount of purple and red that's used. I quite like the look of this, and if they have this much done, then I'm pretty sure we will hear something about it at E3. More details are out about Star Wars Battlefront 2 coming later this year, and it seems EA is listening to the community and are changing many of the things that made 2015's release feel so bland. This includes getting rid of vehicle pickups, and they will be introducing a more in-depth progression path for each of the classes. Unfortunately though, destructible terrain will not be included. Quickly, we're going to cover two topics, the first one being Nintendo has revealed the last name of Ganondorf as Dragmire. And there you have it! Not really sure what you do with this information. Oh, go impress your friends with your Zelda trivia. And then this next one that I'm not going to comment on because I don't want to talk about politics on my show here. Palmer Luckey, the founder of Oculus Rift and former CEO, has donated $100,000 to Donald Trump's inauguration committee, which is completely separate from him starting a company that was posting around the internet in Trump's behalf. And as ridiculous as that may sound, this next one is better because G2A does not believe that they are operating as a gray market. In a Q&A session that was held today, Mario Mirik of G2A responded to questions that were asked by Dan Pearson of Eurogamer and others from the audience, and the issue of a gray market was brought up. Mirik responded that they just operate as a space where people can buy games with different currencies and then sell them for other currency, thereby making a profit. Which, in my opinion, is the exact definition of a gray market, so... I watched the whole session, and most of the time, all Mirik did was avoid questions by talking about topics that were related to the question, but never directly answering the more in-depth questions. And kept promising over and over again that they were going to change, that they were going to look into this, that they were going to look into that, almost like they were completely oblivious as to what goes on their own marketplace. While at the same time, trying to convince everyone that security is of the utmost importance. Have fun bailing water out of your boat that is burning down on turbulent seas. And with that, oh no, do I have to do this again? Well, alright, bring on the dislikes from the Nvidia fanboys. Finally today, Nvidia has launched two new graphics cards, the GTX 1080 and GTX 1060. Now, I've done this bit before, where I ask myself, Dandruff, haven't they already released those cards? And we're not going to do that this time, because it should be fairly obvious that that is exactly what they have done. The difference in these cards comes from both their GPU and RAM, as both cards will have RAM that is 1 GHz faster than the previous card. The new 1060's RAM will operate at 9 GHz rather than 8, and the new 1080 will be at 11 GHz instead of 10. Both will have a new GPU core that is based on the core from the previous model. There is no telling if Nvidia will offer both of these cards at the same time or completely replace it like they did recently with the Titan XPP. Thank you, Linus! But what I'm 99% sure on is the two 1080s will not be SLI compatible because they have different cores. This should be noted that this does not apply to the 1060 because it didn't have SLI capabilities in the first place. Could someone please remind me once again how Nvidia isn't trying to purposely mislead their customers by naming different products the exact same name? It's not like they're calling this the GTX 1080 Plus or something. This is absolutely going to confuse your average everyday consumer who just wants a powerful computer and isn't always interested in the small nuances of PC hardware. I do not like that these products are being refreshed so quickly, while at the same time carrying a higher price tag that I personally do not feel justifies the difference in performance. How do I recommend to people either their mid mid-tier cards or their top-tier cards, knowing that a refresh is less than 9 months away. All I'm asking for is a different name. Is that so hard? Is that too much to ask? So go ahead. Poke a hole in my argument by saying AMD released the RX 580, which is a refresh by the way, less than a year after the 480 has come out. Well, you've already proven my point because they have two different names. I'm tired of this crap, and I hope you are too. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, please. You know what products do have different names? Tomorrow's game releases. For PC, Train Harder, Everything, Orbit XL, Filthy Stinking Orcs, Cat Meat, Battle Chess, Pastry Lovers, Flat Space Ilk, Weebish Minds, Colorize, Ramify, Fantasy Farming, Orange Season, Master Shot VR, VR Dungeon Knight, and Red Obsidian Remnant. For PlayStation 4, Dark Souls 3, The Fire Fades Edition. For Xbox One, City Skylines, Xbox One Edition, Dark Souls 3, The Fire Fades Edition, Race the Sun, and Enverlore Verdenstand. I have no idea. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been News Cartridge. I am Dandruff. I will see you tomorrow. And what does a mermaid mathematician wear? An algae bra. So the last time I talked about my dissatisfaction for Nvidia's naming scheme, got a bunch of dislikes. Granted, the dislikes to like ratio was about 5 to 1, you know, in favor of likes. So I did have that going for me. But I can't believe the mentality of some people that, because somebody had brought up that the Razer Blade, Razer releases a new blade every year. That's a refresh model of the... But that, I understand, but that will specifically say it's got different hardware in it. You know, every blade is not the same. You know, the model blade is, you know, that's a model. Just like car companies produce the same car every year. I don't think it's a fair comparison because computational power doesn't necessarily meet... I mean, in some aspects it does because, you know, cars come out and they're always more efficient and everything, but it's hard to put into words. It's different. A car is not the same as a graphics card. These things are not the same. First of all, cars don't cost $700 to $1,200 for high-end cars. They cost for high-end cars, you're looking at more than $30,000 US, okay? I don't know what that is in pounds or euro, I'm sorry. But, you know, that's around, what, 22,000 pounds, 30,000 euro. So, conversion's about the same euro to dollar. But, somebody's going to correct me on that. It's not the point, it's not the point. Releasing a new car doesn't necessarily mean that other people with their... I mean, that's not a good comparison either, because you can't say that, you know, the people who have a graphics card, you know, a new graphics card comes out, but it's got the same name. They're trying to not differentiate between the two. If a new one comes out, they'll say a new one comes out. If, you know, if there's like a new car that's, you know, this model 2013, they're going to make that same model the entire year. Minor improvements here and there, of course, that they don't need to tell you, but they're not going to be major differences, like a different body shape, different way of, you know, different headlight shape or whatever. I think a car is the best thing to compare it to, because other appliances really don't make sense. Like if they come out with a better toaster, it's like, that's not, other than being more power efficient, it's not going to toast your toast better. I mean, you could argue that cars get more gas efficient, so it's going to cost you less money. You know, they get more stable, better suspension, all that other stuff. I don't know that much about cars, so I'm really scraping here. All I want is an easy way to tell other people what the card is. I feel like that's pretty sound logic. You know, this card, you know, the two 1080s that are out now are, in my eyes, completely different cards. Okay? If the card is going to have a different core, you know, the architecture of that core is different, and the RAM is different, that's a whole new graphics card, right? I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, just because it has the same transistor count and the same CUDA cores and all that other stuff, it's the same, but it's not the same because it's faster and it costs more. I'm so sure they're not going to be SLI compatible. That is because SLI is very specific in the requirements that it needs. If I'm wrong on that one, please let me be wrong about that. Let the two 1080s work together. That would be great. Maybe we'll see some better steps in having SLI go across more GPUs then, if they can do that. But I don't know if they can. I don't know if that's a possibility. And from everything that I've seen, you need to have two of the exact same card in order to run SLI. So, like, because I know that there's different variations. Like, there's a 2 GB 960 and a 4 GB 960. You can't run a 2 GB 960 and a 4 GB 960 in SLI. It's not possible. They need to be the exact same. Now, this one is the exact same amount of RAM, granted. The RAM is faster, so at the worst case, it would go down to the slowest speed RAM, so you're still going to be overpaying for SLI at that point. But if the cores are different, which is they are absolutely different. I don't remember the exact number. The last number was 400 on the first one. This one's 410. They are a different model number. Different card. Can we call it the 1080 Plus? Can we call it the 1060 Plus? I don't care. Give somebody else credit for that. I don't want credit for it. Just can we have two different names, please? That's all I want. So I can tell other people the 1080 Plus costs this much. The 1080 is this much. The 1080 Plus is a little bit faster, but it costs more. I don't have to tell people, look, this one has faster RAM. This one it's also got faster core. This is the difference in the RAM. No, it's just like an easier way of communicating things to other people. I feel like I got so much shit for that the last time I said this. I'm on your side. I'm on the consumer side. I'm a consumer, all right? I'm not making this shit. I don't have anything by defending the companies that I have. I have everything to gain by trying to influence them into having better business practices, and I think everybody else has to gain from that too. But I mean, I'm no saint. I don't think I'm making a difference yet. Hopefully one day I do, but it's just how I feel. Just two different names. That's all I want. 1060 Plus and the 1060. 1080 Plus and the 1060. Titan XP and Titan XPP. Thank you, Linus. Linus is the best. XPP. Because it's full of PP. Pascal. That's what it stands for. Pascal. So, yeah. Alright, I'm done with that. Calm down, Dandruff. End card's getting really long. We're at 7 minutes now. That G2A thing, that's hilarious. That's pretty fucking funny. There was somebody who came in and asked him, like, where's all of your money going to? Where does all this that you know, the money that you guys make go to? Oh, marketing mostly. Oh, so they're just putting more money in to keep trying to sell their shit, sell their product. Okay, advertising G2A services. Don't use G2A, anybody, please. They're so shady. They're not good. They're not I do not believe that they are acting in the public's best interest. I think they're acting in their own best interest. They're not acting in developers' best interest. So come on. It should be pretty cut and dry about them. I'm done. There's so much to talk about today. I hope tomorrow's an easy day. Please let tomorrow be an easy day. I'm supposed to go play Overwatch with Daily Dorks. I'm supposed to go stream that, so hopefully hopefully get it done by then. I don't know. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hey. Click over here for... Not click over here. What am I doing? I'm getting ahead of myself. Over here are the social media links. They are right there. They're also in the top of the description. You can click over here to subscribe to my Nvidia pointing out the thing gone wrong channel, and click over here to talk about yesterday's episode, which I forgot to write down, so I have no idea what the hell it was. I think we talked about... Oh, fuck. What did we talk about? I'm remembering it. Oh, StarCraft was free. I remembered. StarCraft is free. Screwed up the end card, but at least I remembered. StarCraft was being free. Click over here to watch the episode where we talk about StarCraft being released for free and its expansion, Brood War. Yay! Bye, everyone. Bye.